Welcome back to That's So Vegas, like anybody would go away. How could you when I have such talent here in this studio? George Bugatti, Nelson Sardelli. Nelson was sharing with us one facet of this multi-talented, very fascinating
You're very
man.
kind. Thank you.
Was his heart for charitable causes. And real quick, and then we're going to talk about what's upcoming in both your lives.
Of course.
But you, like you had said, you were booked to go to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, and I asked.
You had a calling.
I had a call. I said, let me go see what this is all about. When I saw it, I decided that I have to do something.
You went to a home for handicapped.
A home for handicapped.
Right.
And it was a little deplorable. So I say, what can I do as an entertainer? I'm not a man of science. I can do nothing there, but I can raise money. And I start doing the first thing that I did a 5-hour telethon in the American channel in Puerto Rico. And we did actually it was 6-hour telethon with 5 cameras. 5 telephones. And anyway, we raised $36,000 of the pledges.
Wow.
This is 1961, 62.
Wow.
But every single pledge was collected. So the next time I came back, they could not do it. So I called for a luncheon. I got all the society ladies, and it became more of who's going to be on the paper, who's going to be this. I say no. So I marched in Puerto Rico. I got all the entertainers with the flags. I have pictures of all that. And we marched on the street, and highway robbery took the money.
Oh, no.
Gave it to them. Then when I came back, I said, I need a better idea. So I created the Star Shine.
Yes.
I got all the entertainers that were appearing in Puerto Rico, including Jose Ferrer. He shined shoes with me.
Wow.
Oh, that's
you
great.
know,
That
and
is great.
That's good.
Mickey Hargitay came, and all the local guys were there, and that's what started, Star Shine. And it's funny because I got all the kids that were shining shoes. I said, "Come here. How much money you make in a day?" I said, "Oh, we make about $20." I said, "Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." I say, "Here, I pay you. You sit over here. Your $20, you got it. You don't have to work today. You only technicians. You are only our assistants. So if we make a mistake, you correct." And we shine shoes, and that's how Star Shine.
That is so wonderful.
That's a great story.
You've carried it. And speaking of, I'm going to take this moment to talk to George here for a minute.
I
And
shine the
shoes. Wasn't there a famous Italian car that was a Bugatti?
I offered to shine his shoes, but he said to me, because you couldn't shine my shoes.
Oh.
And so
the Bugatti, you're right.
He was named, your last name is similar to the Bugatti, the Italian car, isn't it?
It's exactly, but absolutely no relation whatsoever.
No.
It's more related to the Maserati people.
That's right, yeah.
It's all Italian. What can I say? That's so Vegas. A little bit about your background and kind of to tie it in, because you must have a lot of empathy. One thing I didn't know until I became more familiar with you is that you actually began as a pianist. You went to Juilliard. You've always been musically inclined. Then you were in a car accident, correct? And you severed some.
Well, I was in an accident, and I've been in many accidents. I'm a wreck. I'm in pain sitting here right now. I don't know how I can speak. And I lost all the movement, and let's bring it down. I brought all the movement and feeling in my right hand. But you know what amazes me? I'll never forget. And the doctor was wonderful. He was one of the top microsurgeons at the time in New York at the 59th Street Hand Surgery Center, and he's brilliant. I think he's still around. But his bedside manner was horrible. I sat there, and I'm like this after the surgery, and I'm in his office, and the question was, it was like out of a movie, will I ever play the piano again? Because this was my life.
Of course.
And he just looked at me deadpan. He's making notes. He goes, no. He's just right in.
No. That was it?
And that was it. And then, of course, he's telling me what to do, and the procedure after the surgery, what's going to happen.
So he knew you were going to be numb.
Well, yeah. Well, what happened is my pinky was spared because the median nerve supplies movement and feeling to this part of the hand here.
Wow.
But it spares this, so I use that as a rudder. And I know that if that's on C, then that's on B flat, so on and so forth.
No kidding.
And I played while I was in a cast, and I kept doing it, and I accompany myself. I'm not. I have my limitations.
And
but didn't that
interferes with your tea drinking, doesn't it?
No, that I can do.
Fancy stuff
that I can do.
That you could do.
Kind
So
of.
didn't that kind of do a split? You were focused on being a pianist, and then when that happened, you started singing.
Yes,
correct?
I found my voice.
You found your voice.
I found my voice. Absolutely. I thought, I love this business. I love music. How can I do something else in the business? And I've always loved these songs, and I started singing, and I was really, really bad when I started.
Hard to believe.
I was
That's
really,
hard
really
to
terrible.
believe.
It took a lot of work.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Well, Steve Allen didn't think you were so terrible, correct? And it's kind of funny that earlier, Nelson had done a really great rendition that I saw on YouTube of Rudyard Kipling's poem, If.
Mm-hmm.
Kipling was is still one of my favorite poets.
He spoke very highly of you.
Thank you. He knew I was coming along, right? And as far as George, though, Steve Allen actually was pivotal in your career, and he's one of my favorite comedians of all time, but a lot of people don't understand he was a brilliant composer as well, right?
Absolutely. He had written thousands of songs. His motto, if you would, his mantra was write a song every day.
Wow.
He would get up every day and write a song, and he said it was like a muscle. You'd have to practice it. And he had some hits. His stuff was recorded by Mel Torme and Ella Fitzgerald, and he was kind enough to produce my first CD.
Really?
Yes, it was an experience of a lifetime to be there with him. He actually, on a couple of the tracks, he plays melodica. Do you know what the melodica? It's like a little
Yes.
euphonium, or what? I don't know what the
Speak
right,
English, come on.
I don't know. It's like a little
Does it
keyboard
look like a
that
five for a keyboard?
it looks like a keyboard that you blow into.
Oh, I've seen those.
You know,
Okay, I never knew what
and
they
he
were called.
loved that, and he played that on a couple of the tracks.
Kidding. What is it
So-
about you that caught his eye? What do you think? I mean, were you singing in the lounge, or was it?
I was actually doing. That's a great. No one has ever asked me that. That's so funny.
That's why I'm here.
I met Steve. I was performing for the 100th. It was the 100th show for a show called Forever Plaid.
Okay.
If you recall that, some
I
years
do
back,
believe
Forever
yes.
Plaid. It was on Broadway or off Broadway. I think it was here to
Yes.
tour the country. It was
Yeah,
a
I
big
was
show
there
for a number of years, and it was in such its embryonic stages that it was the 100th show in Los Angeles, and they were celebrating by doing a party, and they asked me to play the party, and that's where I met Steve. And Steve always had a way of going over to the piano player because he loved music and he loved piano. And at the end of, or somewhere in the middle of the session, he gave me his card, and he said, I like what you're doing. He said, here's my assistant's number. Contact her, and she's going to send you some materials. I have an idea. And I thought, wow.
That's amazing. So he gravitated right towards you. And that really was a nice big shot in the arm for your career, right?
Well, he helped me out. He really, I call him my musical father because he took me around in a professional way. Took me on talk shows. Took me on professional radio. Rick Dees, the Rick Dees radio show in Los Angeles, famous. He took me on that show. He had the original desk for the Tonight Show, and he would go around the country putting on the show with Louis Nine, Bill Dana, Tom Poston, Don Knotts,
Well, loved him.
Jonathan Winters, and he would bring me up to do a guest appearance. As a matter of fact, the very first time I ever came to Las Vegas was when it was a Steve Allen show in the old conga room at the Sahara.
Oh, wow.
And I was on the bill with a singer named Marilyn May, a
my
wonderful
goodness.
singer.
Oh, my goodness.
And he brought me on. It was the first time ever, and I came on the marquee. It was featuring George Bugatti.
But it was up there. So if he was the father of your music career, is Nelson the godfather? Because you two are a pair to draw to. Come now. How did this little
No, we're just
relationship- yes.
funny. Our friendship, actually, in terms of years, is a very new one. Even though I knew of George when he was appearing in Atlantic City. In fact, my wife, who's now my wife, did the artwork for his show.
And that was back in 2001. Yeah.
Wow, 15 years
But
ago.
George, I say this, and he is a kind of talent that, first of all, he is a talented, gifted man, a creative man.
Yes.
Ego doesn't play a part on him. Very
Absolutely
creative.
not. I can
Very
attest to
creative.
that.
We working in projects together, and it's so great
I
that he's
snorted.
no, and this is tremendously likable and very
His phrasing and
spiritual
everything.
kind of guy. too.
Yes. Well, I see that you
and
have-
humble.
And you two have this is going to be so exciting this Saturday at the Smith Center. Your show that you're actually going on tour, but
It's
you're
his
not
show.
leaving us. I know
No.
it is his show, but you're going to be
Can
part
I
of it.
tell you,
Saturday.
it's part of the excitement. Before off camera, when you said, "Are you excited about it?" And I said, "I'll be excited when I get on stage." But now I'm thinking about part of the excitement is working with him and working with the other gals in the show, Karen.
Right.
Karen
Oh, boy.
Kate.
Carrot
She's
Cake.
Carrot Cake. Carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
That's part of what I sing for a living, and I've been doing it. I'm very grateful that I've been doing it for a while. But it's these relationships that make it fun.
Well, we're going
that
to
make
talk.
it lovely.
Okay, we'll talk about that because now I have the two of you, and we're going to go forward with this after we come back from this commercial break. Don't forget Red Roof Inn on Paradise across from the Hard Rock Pet Friendly.